Public school students, we've all seen some stuff, but I think I have the craziest story of all time. When I was in high school, I had Italian class. So we had this lovely teacher. Her name was Signora. She was an older woman and she frequently had to go to the bathroom once every period, basically. So for the first 5 minutes of class, she would be missing. She would go to the bathroom, she would get her water, do her little thing, and whatever. Little did she know she had two troublemakers in her class, but they were Italian American. She was Italian, and, she kind of had a sweet spot for them. So they kind of got away with murder and other things. The things these two people would do, their names were, I'm sorry guys, I'm going to say your names, is what it is. And the things they would do are unspeakable, but I'm going to speak about them now. They would engage in vigorous dry humping throughout the class for the entirety of the first 5 minutes, where they would terrorize the entire class, but really each other's bodies more than anything. I'm talking would pick up, have his legs straddle over his shoulders. He would get on top of him, throw him onto Signora's desk, mess the whole thing up, and go to pound town on the guy. Put him up against the board on top of the AC unit. There was some of the nerdier girls who were a little socially awkward. They would throw him on top of their desks, and the girls would be like, oh my God, and they'd be like, I'm not going to reenact everything, but it was going crazy. And then the worst part is, they would try to blame it on us, but she would walk back in, right? Signora would come in. She'd walk in, they'd be doing something crazy, and then they'd stand up and be like, oh, Senora. She'd be like, oh, no, you guys being bad. I think I was doing like a Latino accent there, but she was Italian American, but she would do these weird accents. And she'd be like, you being bad? They're like, no, Senora, we would never do anything bad. Not us. It was Antonio, and that was my Spanish and Italian name. I'd be like, what, me? What? She's like, oh, Antonio, you being bad again. I was like, I didn't do anything. They were screwing each other on your desk. She'd be like, what are you talking about? And they'd be like, Dylan, what are you talking about? And I'd be like, wait, they were all over it. They would also throw books all around the classroom. Like we had this one friend, Matt, that they would do the Eiffel Tower on sometimes. I know I'm skipping around a little bit, but they would do the Eiffel Tower to Matt. They would grab him and just like go to town on him. And they would pick up textbooks sometimes and they would whip them across the room at people in the middle of class too. While this woman was teaching, they would just like, whoop, and she would be right on the board. She'd be like, Antonio, and I'd be like, it wasn't me. They are not married now. I believe them both to be quite straight. But yeah, they made Italian class interesting, to say the least.